Hi everyone. This week we decided to do a Zoom with all our escrow officers so that we can share with you guys myth versus fact. So, Rita, you want to add anything to that before we go down the list with questions?
I just want to say that Wendy Gomes is busy recording so many deals right now that she couldn't join us today, but she is out of our upcountry office and she's an escrow branch manager since 1998. So, Merce, you can start with the questions.
All right, so question number one, Tori, myth. Is the Bureau of Conveyances not doing any recordings?
No, that is false. The Bureau of Conveyances is still doing recordings. They have closed their offices to the public, so you can't go down there and walk in documents to record anymore, but they are still doing e-recordings for us. In the event that they decided that they needed to close for a period of time, Fidelity is still prepared to issue gap insurance to cover the time period between the closing date and the actual recording date once the Bureau reopens. But for now, the Bureau is still open.
Thank you.
And just a reminder, Fidelity's got the highest title insurance rating in the whole industry. Got to put that in. Okay, Denny, the myth. International buyers and sellers are not able to sign and record deals. What's the fact?
So that is a myth. We still can record deals with our foreign clients. Any country that participated in the Hague Convention, those countries we can still utilize the apostille for notary. Countries that did not participate, they're kind of looking at it on a case-by-case basis. For Canada, they have agreed to allow for notary with a barrister, a attorney in Canada. But if you have clients that are in other countries, check with your escrow officer first to find out whether they've participated in The Hague and what the notary options are, because if there's countries that we haven't addressed with the Bureau yet, they're taking it on a case-by-case basis, and we want to get those addressed as soon as possible.
Thank you, Denny. All right, so Rose, you're up. Myth. HARPTA, FIRPTA, getting the waivers are taking months to get back. True or false?
False. False. They're coming back really fast. I'm impressed. I would say 8 days at the most. It's more like 5.
Are they getting back?
HARPTA?
Is that both HARPTA and FIRPTA?
No, we can't request waivers for FIRPTA, so that's HARPTA only.
Have you heard of anyone getting delayed trying to get a FIRPTA waiver?
Yes. No, because I don't deal with any clients right now asking us to wait on the waiver, because escrow's policy is not to. It's generally, the process is too long. So we close, we pay it, and they apply for a refund.
I think, Denny, were you going to add something to that, Denny?
I did just want to say, so they can apply for the waiver. The process, though, is 90 plus days typically. I have one that we submitted almost 90 days ago. It's on a transaction, Canadian buyer and seller. They're related, interest being conveyed to the other parties. We don't have a clue as to how much longer it's going to take. Is it going to still take 90 days? Give or take? Is it going to take much longer? I really don't know. So as long as the parties agree to extend the closing to allow sufficient time for the waiver to come back, they certainly can apply for the waiver. But in most cases, like Rose said, most cases, I'd say 99.9% of the time, you don't have a 90 plus day closing. So they are going to have to pay and then apply for the refund after.
Pam, did you have anything to add? Because I noticed you shaking your head.
I'm shaking my head. Basically, I have two Canadian sellers that we're trying very hard to be able to get FIRPTA applied and approved. They have very aggressive attorneys that are working with them, and neither one of them can get through at all and have any response. So I'm right with the ladies on this one. FIRPTA is not going to be attainable under a very short amount of time. They have to be patient. Either extend the escrow or close and let us send the money in.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Okay, Kosei is up. Kosei works out of our Lahaina branch with Miss Rose Bento. Kosei, the myth. Escrow officers and you are not signing clients. What's the fact?
The fact that we are doing signing is either bring the documents outside and meet them and have them sign the paperwork in the car. Or if it's too much, then we'll just do it in our signing room if anything. But yeah, we are doing signings. We're not, pushing people away for that. So.
And can I ask how you guys are practicing social distancing when you guys are doing the signings?
6 feet apart.
6 feet apart. All right, thank
Masks
you.
and gloves.
All right, so Pam, myth, payoffs, appraisals, survey, termite, and attorney documents are not being delayed.
Oh, the opposite, unfortunately, everything is being delayed, but it is on a case-by-case basis. What I'm noticing with the payoff lenders, the ones that are very fully automated, like Wells Fargo, Bank of America, they're getting their documents out in a very timely manner. They are slower than they were before. Wells Fargo used to be less than 24 hours, so we got to give them a little bit longer. The local lenders are slowing down some. We have to also verify payoffs, so that's where I see some of my delays coming from, is that they're not responding back in a timely manner like they did before and giving us our verification to pay off. So we have to give them a little bit more room on that one. When it comes to the appraisals, I'm only hearing that from the real estate agents on the outside telling me that the appraisals are coming in slower, but we don't see appraisals and we don't book appraisals, so I don't know anything more about that than that. When it comes to the surveys and the termites, they're coming along pretty good. That's not too bad in a lot of things I've seen. I haven't heard from the surveyors that they're not getting out there. The market is slowing down when it comes to the sales, so maybe we'll see them be able to get out there faster when that comes up. The HOAs are definitely a case-by-case basis. We had one of our associations let us know last Friday that they were finally going to go home, and they were going to start working out of their home and to expect delays in that. So we just ask, and we get our answers back by email. And if they don't respond, we try to give them a call and see if they're in the office. Otherwise, we send another email and ask them to respond.
So I'd love to ask a question of each of you. Just since like maybe the first week of March, that's when that whole COVID, when people were being sent home to work, just like our operation. If you can each share with us approximately how much of your cancellations or how much of your business were canceled. I've had about 10 to 15 escrows since March that you can attribute to COVID. Tori, can you start with us? Just an approximate.
I think I've had probably 12 to 15 cancellations total since the beginning of March, but I think there have only been a couple of them that were directly attributed to COVID-19. The majority of them really had to do with a lot of other factors, the J1 inspections, the financing, not for COVID-19 specific reasons, but just the normal course of business. What I did see, though, was that there were a number of the cancellations have multiple reasons. And I do think, some of the factors for COVID-19 did play into that.
Okay. Thank you. Rose, what about you?
For sure, I've had 2 directly related to COVID-19 because they were investors. They were coming over to renovate and then start to rent their units, and they panicked and said, no, not doing it. So then we were really close to completion. So and then I've had couple others that were just based on, various reasons, but not because of COVID-19.
That's not that many. Okay, Denny.
I think I've probably had, if I had to guess, I think it's probably about 7 or 8 of them directly related to COVID. They did have 1 or 2 that almost canceled, related. They were able to hold it together, and the buyer and seller were able to come to an agreement and different things. So we've definitely seen our share. Yeah.
Jose, what about you?
Me? I don't know. I lost 80%. That's 20 plus files. So it sucks. You did all that process, taking all that work, and just kaput. So it's just drafting all the cancellation instructions. When I came back, right, it was just knee high. I was just like, oh man, this is gonna suck. So fishing it out.
Tell us how you really feel.
Really.
It's just, just drafting all the cancellation instructions when I came back, right? It was just knee high. I was just like, oh man, this is gonna suck. So, tell us how you really feel.
You know, really.
I'm curious, of course, but it's just like, I don't know, it's just all that work you put in, and then, you know, they throw in, like, we decided to cancel, you know, due to all this scenario, pandemic. The buyers don't feel comfortable because if they close it, they won't have rental revenue, right? So it just makes dollars make sense to them. So, and the same thing with even loans, you know, buyers lose a job or they got, you know, laid off, they can't qualify for the loan anymore. And the other one is buyers renegotiating for a lower sales price. Right, and I got copied on one of those letters, and I felt like, whoa, man, that's pretty harsh. So it was like a slap in the face to the sellers with that, deeming low ball sales price just to stay active. So, but those are all the reasons why majority of my files are canceled. So
You also have a lot of investors and second homeowners, so you know, that's probably why you have that much of cancellations.
yeah, just gotta be positive and just pick things up again. So hopefully we'll plow through again.
Pamela Jane, what about you?
I've had 3 that are directly connected to COVID. The rest of the cancellations, and there hasn't been many on my end of it. Most of them it's extended, actually. Have used the addendum to extend. My cancellations, one was an investor that they didn't trust the stock market at that point, wanted to go ahead and back out. And another one was actually a lender. We got all the way to funding, and the lender contacted us and said they were going to stall it out to the 1st of April. And then when the 1st of April came, they said, nope, we're not loaning any money right now, and pulled it. So that was my first taste of the lenders having to be affected by it. But everybody else seems to be just hanging in there as best they can.
All right. So the next question we're going to ask you, it's a little bit more on the fun note. Since we've all been quarantined, what is the 1 or 2 things that you guys found yourself doing that normally you guys don't do? So actually, I'm going to start with Denny.
So since I started at Fidelity just over a year ago, I don't think I cooked more than 5 homemade meals in that entire year. So now I've been cooking every night. My family loves it. I cook, I bake again. So yeah, cooking and baking again, just spending time with the family. I haven't been able to do much of it over the last year. So while the reason for me being able to do those things isn't great, it's still been wonderful.
Thank you.
Awesome.
Pam.
Well, cooking is part of the thing. House cleaning is something that I actually spoiled myself in with the housekeeper, and now I don't get that luxury because no one can come in the house. So I've gone back to using the chemicals of life and cleaning out everything, and binging on TV when I can. Otherwise, I putz too much. So I'm definitely in doing something, cleaning closets or whatever the case may be. Here at the office, with our doors being locked, and what I notice is the fact is that I might not wear as much makeup as I did before, but otherwise everything's the same.
Nice.
So say.
Me, long list of honey to do stuff. That, cooking, of course, and doing puzzles. We've been completing a lot of puzzle pieces. That's over 1,000 pieces. So
Wow.
I feel that it's therapeutic. It's fun. I mean, just start off with the borders first, and then start plugging in all the stuff. But yeah, I mean, it feels good after you complete it. So that's it.
So Kosa, you can challenge yourself. Start from the inside and then do the borders last. Just
Yeah,
kidding.
I don't know about that.
Go that way, negative.
All right, Rose, what about you? What have you found yourself doing or learned to do?
Well, I haven't learned to do anything. I've been trying to learn to give myself a pedicure, but I can't see without the glasses. I'm too far away. So I had to stop that. But I do what I always do. I'm a putzer like Pam. I clean out a closet, watch TV. I'm a binge watcher. I've been watching LA Law. I think I've seen it 10 times, the whole series.
You know, word for
Totally
word.
dating yourself.
All right, and Tori, what about you?
Well, I finally have started to see the light of day. I used to go to work in the dark and come home in the dark, but now I have the luxury of going to work when it's light out and coming home when it's light out. So I actually started swimming a lot more. I've been in the ocean a lot since, well, for the last month. Yeah, and I'm thinking maybe I'll get back into reading books. I don't know. So much fun on that.
All right. And Rita, what about you? What have you been doing?
Oh my gosh, you guys, I'm so hyper. So I get up, I get up at 5 in the morning and I go running. And then about 4 o'clock, 3:34, I go crazy and I run again. So I'm out running twice a freaking day. I have never been in better shape. I'm not kidding you. I'm proud of myself.
It's like the Chinese fire drill. You can just keep running.
I'm like Forrest Gump. I'm like running.
Run, Rita, run. Run, Rita, run. So for me, I've learned a few things. One, I've learned to gut and clean a whole fish. So I actually like scrape all the scales.
Wow.
Cut the fish and pull out all the guts. Fun. But, I tried one that was like this, and then I had actually called my dad to do the one that was like this big. I was like, that one's a little too much. I got to start off with something like this. But I did it. And then mask. I made my own mask. So
Yes.
this, and I was going to make more, but I had to wait to get those bands in. So, and then
Mercy doesn't go out at all. She doesn't go out.
Oh yeah,
at all.
I really try not to leave the house. I'm a little paranoid. I'm like getting veggies delivered, and I've never cooked so much in my life, like Denny said. And sometimes I open the fridge, I'm like, okay, I have this and this and this. It's like that cooking show. Okay, what can I make out of this, this, and this,
Hey, Sam Choi.
Yeah, so it's kind of like that cooking show, like, okay, I have hamburger, I have cabbage, what am I going to do?
Boy, this is
I've done
a
that a few
long
times.
Zoom, I'll tell you. Well,
All
you
right.
guys, thank you. Thank you so much.
You're welcome.
Thank you.
Welcome.
Thanks,
you guys.
you.
Stay safe.
See ya.
Bye.
Take care of
Thanks,
you.
guys.
Bye.